I'd like to call the order the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting today, Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. It is 9 a.m. and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Michael Fraze.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I do not have any comments regarding public comment. Anything online? Clerk Treasurer Parthun claims approval.
Okay, we have payroll in the amount of $525,466.33.
I move we approve the payroll.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Civil city claims in the amount of $354,564.09.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $495,147.80.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Water claims in the amount of $293,752.37.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Department head reports. A lot of good happening today, so please be to the point and be brief. Mike Fraze, Streets.
And we're out patching, cutting trees, putting up, getting stuff set up for the roof set this Friday. And, what was I gonna say?
Well, that's the good part of it, and I'll tell you, remind everybody, roof sit this Friday behind WLOI, WCOE. It's great for the kids during Christmas time, so if you have a few dollars to spare, stop by all day Friday, and I appreciate you guys helping with that and making sure it's set up.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Craig Phillips, Planning.
Nothing to report this morning.
Nothing? All right.
Item on the agenda, but otherwise.
I'm excited that you were going to throw out a little 39 North touch early, but Mark Schreiber, Parks.
Morning. Just want to remind the public of our rescheduled night bike ride. We encountered some rain at our ride on August 16th, so those that were registered are obviously can still participate, and anybody who would like to join could also join. Also this weekend, Doombrook Dragon Boat Family Festival at Stone Lake Beach. They have 21 teams competing out on the water, plus food trucks and kid zones, so please come out and support a very worthy cause in Doombrook. And we also have a couple other organizations that will be doing fundraisers at the Civic coming up. The Boys and Girls Club of LaPorte County will be doing their Blue Bash Gala on October 11th. And Meals on Wheels will have their trivia night on October 12th, both of those at the Civic Auditorium. I just encourage the public to go to their website, get information, and support these nonprofits in our community.
And is there anything happening on October 5th at the Civic?
I believe that there is a ball that night, and, but I'll let you give all the
The
details.
Mayor's Casual Ball, as we call it.
Mayor's Casual Ball on October 5th, and, but I'll let you give all the details on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bert Cook, Economic Development.
I have no report, Mayor.
Roscoe Huffman, IT. Other than that, you're working a great deal to review our agreement with our IT provider to improve dollars for the city. Thank you. Chief Snyder, anybody, don't be shy, all of you. And thank you. How's the house that was on fire yesterday? Seems like,
All's good. Thank you, Roscoe. We're still investigating. We haven't asked the state fire marshal to come in and help us investigate that because of some circumstances surrounding it.
And I would also say the cray bombs that we're going to move back in there were the same ones that were there a couple years ago when there was a fire. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Chief Buell,
Good morning.
good morning.
I want to bring one item to the Board of Works' attention, and that's our facility and the air handler, the large air handler on the roof. I guess while I was gone on vacation, one of the compressors went out. There's two compressors that run that air handler. Yesterday, the other one went out and developed a leak. So I'm not sure what we're going to do at this point. It's going to cost a lot more to get it fixed. We don't know if it could go bad as well. They did give us an estimate as to replacing that air handler, and it's $60,990. That's with labor and parts and the whole works and getting rid of the equipment. So that air handler works during the summer and the winter. It carries the air, heating and cooling. So we're going to have to make a decision on what we're going to do with that.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's the cost for one, to replace one, or to replace
That's to
both?
replace the whole unit, because it's so old. And when you have one compressor working for two, there's an added stress on that, and that has gone now too, and it developed another leak.
And the cost for DA Dodd that's been coming in and out of there weekly almost now, you know.
The
Band-Aid.
price
We have to
keeps
address
going
it.
up, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Jeff Batchelor, Code Enforcement.
Yeah, we've been going around on properties that the landlord's not taking care of, the owner's not taking care of, and then vehicles alongside the road that haven't moved. That's our two things that we're really working on this week.
Nick Otis, Legal.
I'll have the 39 North agreement later, that's all.
Courtney Parthune, Clerk Treasurer. And she is doing a fantastic job with budgets. Shout out to her and her team. It's not easy when you want to give appropriate increases to people to show that we appreciate all their efforts that work for the city, yet having $0 to transfer to make that happen. So a shout out also to department heads that know we are going to continue to have a structurally balanced budget in our general fund, meaning if we're going to give increases in pay, reductions in other areas have to happen. So great job to you and everybody as we complete the budget process, and we'll have something for the public. No different than the public has to do, live within their means. The city of LaPorte will do the same. Nick Minnick, Engineering.
We did have our Truesdale Clear Lake Loop final walkthrough, these punch list items. Contractor will finish those up, and then I know there's been some issues with mowing and things like that, but really we're trying to get everything to establish. So once contractor gets through their punch list items, we'll work all that out. Other than that, nothing else.
And I would like to tell the public, thank you for all the calls of support of how great Truesdale looks and how much they're enjoying Fox Park and so forth. So good work. Melissa Mischke, Wastewater.
Nothing to report.
Tim Werner, Water Department.
Good morning. I just wanted to let the public know that our construction crew started installing water main on Park Street yesterday morning. So Park Street from the split at 100 West and Park Street will be closed from Park Street to Severs. As they move north on Park Street, then we'll move east on Severs. So Severs will be closed from 100 West to Genesis in that area. 63 working days to complete that project, and like I said, the crews got going yesterday morning, so I just want to make sure everybody pays attention in that area. It's gonna be busy, so.
And Severs Road is, that part of the work you're doing is 439 North.
Yeah, so we'll be extending the 16-inch water main out of Thomas Rose, which will eventually go to 39 North Booster Station. So we'll also loop that in with Park Street. So we're gonna go ahead and complete the 16-inch main from Genesis to Severs, or Genesis to Park, or to 100 West on Severs, sorry.
Will that go out Severs and then up along 39, or will it take a different route?
No, it'll follow Severs
Follow.
Road all the way to 39, yep. That's
We're
all.
doing what we said we do when we talked 5 years ago about this annexation. And, you know, we don't even have the financing completed yet, and we're already doing work. So I think that's a reminder to the residents of 39 that are annexed that they're in good hands. And thank you to you, the wastewater team, Craig Phillips, Bert Cook, Attorney Nick Otis, you'll hear from later. Great job by all of you, so thank you.
There'll be some action on 39 North itself once we finish the agreement for where the tower's going. We'll be in there fairly quick to do some soil boring too, so there'll be some action up there too.
Andrea Smith, HR. All right, that completes department heads. Anybody that does not have business before the board can go enjoy a great day today. New business, and can you believe it? We're talking about trick or treat.
That's a taboo subject. I don't like to change anything about trick or treat, except for the last couple of years, many of the communities surrounding us set their trick or treat times for 5 to 7 instead of 6 to 8. And so we find that we're a little bit out of sync with surrounding communities. We had a few phone calls about it was a late evening on a school night. And so I'm requesting that we change that time to 5 to 7.
And again, those that have younger children, make sure you state your concerns, if any, now, because this is a big deal, but I think it's fair to the smaller children that get to be out during daylight a little bit versus all at
They
complete
get
darkness.
about a half an hour, 40 minutes, where it's not pitch black, you know, to trick or treat with smaller children. So that's kind of where the concern lies.
So does anybody dare make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So I do have a motion to improve the opportunity for kids to trick or treat by making it 5 to 7 p.m. Any discussion, concerns? Go ahead.
The only part is that people have to get off work or take off work early to get their kids ready, because 5 o'clock is
Yeah.
usually quitting time for most people, and by the time you get home and get your kids
And-
ready, you're maybe only gonna have an hour to trick or treat. So that's the pushback I could see from other
And
parents
that was
or
the
other
main
people.
point of discussion when they set it 6 to 8, you know, and it's hard. It's a hard.
I know, whatever the majority thinks is fine with me.
And again, if we put this out early enough, people can schedule this to get home early enough on this one day, and trick or treat's important, so.
Certainly doesn't mean that if it doesn't go well and there's, most of the community feels like, no, we'd rather have it a little back,
We'll change it again.
yeah,
It's you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Annette.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Parking appeals.
We're tabling those.
Yeah, I'm going to request that to be tabled. I really didn't give the police time to look at the situation, and so I didn't feel like it was fair to address it today. Thank you.
Federal Operating Assistance Agreement.
This is for, I'm sorry, this is for transit, the transit. Everybody down here. Grant. This is for the transit federal grant, sorry, Roscoe. Screaming Mike over there. All this is an amendment of dates for the actual grant. So I need this approved by Board of Works. We'll get this signed back in, and we're back in compliance with dates.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Excuse me, doing business. If you want to check with Mr. Batchelor, if you need to leave, please do. Nick Otis, 39 North.
Before you is the 39 North purchase agreement and interlocal agreement. We'll need 2 separate motions on those, but this has been a long time coming. Obviously, we've already finished the annexation for 39, well, a good chunk of 39 North. This is the purchase agreement to purchase all of the utility assets of 39 North. Just a little background, I won't spend too much time on it here, but by law, we cannot pay the property owners directly in cash payments. So in lieu of that, we can give them utility credits, and that's how they're going to be compensated. The city is paying $2 million in utility credits. However, we are getting $500,000 in cash up front from 39 North, from the Conservancy District. They have about $640,000 in cash on hand, so we're gonna get $500,000 of that at closing. And they're gonna keep about $140,000 of that, and part of that, going to the interlocal agreement, deals with their ability to enforce the contract if the city is not doing something it said it was gonna do, right? So they're the ones that will hold us accountable. I think the mayor, department heads, Tim, Jerry, Nick Minnick, are all working very, very hard, like he just talked about, of already improving these things, but we are obligated to make sure that those things happen. So, this quick history again, 39 North was, the Conservancy District was started in the 90s. They built out the utility system out there. They can't keep up with the future costs of the improvements that are necessary. They only have about 150 property owners. It would be extremely expensive per property owner to make the necessary improvements in the next 5, 10, 20 years that are necessary. That's just to keep up with what they have, let alone the opportunities that the city's working on. So this is a great deal for the property owners. You'll see that there's a lot of appendixes to this. There's a couple easements that we're taking over. There's a couple lift stations that we're taking over. The good thing, a lot of times when these happen, communities aren't familiar with the utility system. We've been running the utility system, so we know the strengths, the weaknesses, the things that need to be improved. So there's not a lot of risk here on our end. Tim and Jerry are already well aware of the, the issues that need to be addressed immediately. So this is a really good result. Schedule V, if you need, or Appendix V, if you want to look at it, does break out the credits for each property owner. Quickly on that, we asked 39 North, you tell us how you want, we're going to give you $2 million in credits total. You tell us how you want them divvied up, all right? Some are getting more credits than others. Some of that's because some of the property owners have been out there the entire time of the Conservancy District. They've paid in more into the Conservancy District than others. Some of them are much bigger, right? We've got industrial users, we've got residential users. So we asked them, hey, you tell us how you want it divvied up, but we also asked for Courtney's office's sake, do it as easy for us to implement as possible so that they can implement it and the property owners can understand it. So Baker Tilly's going to work, they've been working with us a lot. They're going to be working with Courtney's office a lot to make sure that the credits are calculated correctly, applied correctly, and that everybody understands how they work.
So those, and thank you for going over all that.
Yeah.
Because really, so those credits per each individual owner were wide range, right?
Correct.
To those reasons
Yep.
you mentioned. So those will just sit kind of on our books as a credit and then they will go down as their utility charges continue until they've
Exhausted
all their.
Some of them could be exhausted as soon as maybe 5 years, and then some of them, it may be 15 years. So our target was not to go any longer than 15. That's what 39 North asked for. Anyway, so there are some specific property owners we had to do, 39 North had to kind of do some unique things with that's different than some of the other owners, right? But residential owner, very easy. That's an easy one. But you've got some major manufacturing out there, and how you set that off with stormwater fees, it gets a little tricky, so.
So but that responsibility does not lie with the city, it's really the.
Well,
the
it was
district
their
to line that up.
responsibility to tell us how much each property owner's getting in the credit.
Gotcha. Okay.
It'll be our responsibility to apply that then each month on the utility bills going forward.
The simpler part of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, not simple, but the less contentious part of it.
Yeah, and Baker Tilly will help us.
Yeah.
We've already kind of got a system going. It'll probably take a few months, and then we'll be able to figure it out. The credits don't start obviously until the
Closing.
closing of the purchase, yeah.
Which should happen relatively quickly, again, because there doesn't need to be a long due diligence period, because we already know the system, right? It's not like we need to go out and do any sort of audit. We know the lines, so that's good. The other tricky part of the utility credits was, the utility credits was the only way we could find to compensate the property owners. But then you have some property owners that lease their property, right? So the tenant might be the one with the bill versus the property owner. We had to come up with some of those, some unique ways to make sure they get the credit.
Will there be a statement by the department, like annually, so that owners know where they're at, so there's no surprises?
It should
and they
show,
don't-
it should show right on the actual monthly bill. So it'll
Every
show
single
amount
month.
billed and then.
And the credit
Yeah,
applied.
credit.
Okay, good.
And then we'll have the supporting documentation for audit purposes, in case any of the 39 North property owners have questions or issues, we'll have all that supporting documentation.
And we know in the first couple months, there's gonna be a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And we wanna make sure it's as transparent as possible. Once we close on this too, there's a couple other things, like trash will start happening out there, because right now, I don't think they're getting trash service. They should get that pretty quickly. So we're moving along. 39 North will have this on their agenda at their meeting Friday morning. And then, like I said, we should be able to schedule a closing sometime this month.
Once that happens, then 39 North will officially be on our ordinances for utilities and utility, anything that's on our utility, your current utility bill, 39 North will have that and then be credited based on the 100-pager you have here.
And that is also, again, great work to the clerk treasurer and her team. I mean, as you look at this, it may seem somewhat simple. It's far from that. And the amount of time that's been spent working back and forth with all entities to make this happen has been amazing. So I think we set a new standard for the state of Indiana, how to get this done when it comes to water and wastewater credits.
It was complicated and unique, and again, unique because you can't just turn over cash to the property owners. We had to devise a way to compensate them. So this makes sense. And then the 39 North, property owners, they don't have to do all the upgrades, just 150 of them. That cost is spread out among all the users in the city. So, and the other thing I think they ran into, and this probably came up at some point, they tried to get grants to do upgrades, and the state and federal don't want to give grants to conservancy districts that only serve 150 property owners. They want to incentivize cities like LaPorte or South Bend or Indianapolis that serve thousands of people, right? So the financing we'll get is better than 39 North would get. The grants are probably better. So this is a great deal for everybody. Bert's already brought 2-3 projects to the city council, so.
And I'll tell you also, congratulations and thank you to the 39 North Conservancy Board, who had the forethought, to really work with us, to see this through. They've done a lot of work with infrastructure for their residents and businesses, and the growth became too much at the time. And I know we've had ups and downs throughout this 5-year process, and when that happens, you expect that. But I tell you what, they've been a great partner, and we look forward to working with Mark Childress and their team moving forward. But think about, from your perspective, just layman's on a board expected to run and understand a water system, and they did great work, so thank you to them. With that, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Further
And
discussion?
that motion is for both the
Yeah,
interlocal agreement and
they can do both of them.
Okay.
Both the motion to approve, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. The final step will be Friday.
Correct, and then we have to do a closing. Yep.
Friday at the 39 North Conservancy Board meeting. They will approve this as well. Well, the good news keeps on coming here. I don't know if we should do a drum roll, but Craig Phillips, bid opening, Beechwood Lakes property.
I believe we have at least one.
We do. We have one bid for the Beechwood Lakes public offering. I did want to note, we have the affidavit of publication here. This public offering was published in the Herald Dispatch on July 19th, 2024, and July 26th, 2024. I'll open the public offering and.
Craig, would you like to, what is Beechwood Lakes officially?
So Beechwood Lakes is a roughly 35-acre property that was donated to the city for the purpose of redevelopment and other uses. So we set aside, it was originally roughly 50 acres. We set aside some of that for other uses, and then 35 acres has been made available for development of a mixture of housing types that will benefit the city going forward. So, yeah, so we're excited to see what we have here. So we have one bid entitled "The Residences at Beechwood." This is from Sloan Avenue Development and Redstone Homes joint venture. So the official bidder firm is Park Street Community LLC. The bid is offering two options. Option A is a purchase of the land for $1,870,000 and the city of LaPorte funding water and sewer infrastructure for the envisioned residential site plan, approximately 50% of estimated infrastructure costs. Option B is we purchased the land for $2,510,000 and the city of LaPorte funds water, sewer, and road infrastructure for the envisioned residential site plan, approximately 75% of the estimated infrastructure costs. So, let's see, looks like we have a,
Craig, was that our request of having these two different options?
no.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Well, the bid did not request that. The bid documents did not request that. There was a minimum bid required. They have met that minimum bid with both options. They provided sample floor plans, marketing study. Okay. So we'll take this under advisement and hopefully be back at the next Board of Works meeting with a recommendation. That'll be our goal. But we'll review this with our attorney and make sure that everything is met here in terms of the requirements for this bid, but that's what we've received.
And, you know, with the goal also making those improvements at Beechwood Golf Course, driving range, chipping area and so forth, and then maybe rearranging a few of the holes. So I think this is exciting times. And again, sometimes patience is a virtue.
Is that part of the bid? Is that included in the bid?
No.
The work on the golf course? No, okay.
But if it was funded appropriately, it could lead to those type of things. So, great news. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
No?
No, there's nothing
Just
to
a
vote
bid
on. All
opening.
Okay, so we won't approve that. Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
right, thank you.
Andrea Smith. So as we talk about the budget and flatlining, we have to continue to find new ways to do things, where I think we've talked about that somebody going to work for a company, a government entity, and having the same insurance plan for 25 years is gone. Insurance is changing every year, and that leads us to Andrea Smith.
Good morning, board members. Andrea Smith, HR Director for the City of LaPorte. I have Richard Sutton of Brown & Brown, along with other representatives, Diane and Nick. After numerous meetings with Mayor Dermody and Courtney Parthune, Clerk Treasurer, we are asking the board to approve Brown & Brown as the city's agent of record on insurance matters, including medical, dental, vision, life, and disability. With that being said, I'd like to bring up Richard Brown and his staff, and they have a few more words to talk to you about. And at the end, I have some words I'd like to say about our current broker, General Insurance Agency.
Richard Sutton, please come forward.
Thank you. Happy to be with you today. So I'm Richard Sutton with Brown & Brown. Brown & Brown is the 7th largest broker in the country. We are the public entity division, so we work with counties and cities and towns and a lot of school corporations all around the state of Indiana. Something unique about us is we are fee-based. We're not commissioned agents, so we have a flat fee that we propose that is far less than what a normal commission would be. We did a study recently of your health insurance. We would recommend a change to Anthem, Blue Cross and Blue Shield from your current carrier, which is called UMR. The savings is roughly $500,000 for the same level of benefits. We will continue to monitor that. Obviously, there'll be other savings that will come with other recommendations as we pursue you. So, again, Richard Sutton, I've got with me today Diane Tichnell. This is a team effort, so you'll see all of us here all the time, and Nick Napier. Diane, a few words from you.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. Again, my name's Diane Tichenell. Thank you so much for having us here today. We're very excited for the opportunity to be working with the city of LaPorte. We do, as Richard indicated, work with a lot of public entities in the state of Indiana. It's our passion. It's our passion to save money for all people, but especially public entities, because we know that's where the most need is from our perspective. We did provide you with a packet of information. I'm not going to go through the whole packet with you today. Happy to if you want to. Richard's already kind of done a quick overview, but our office provides a lot of services. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to lead our team externally and internally of making sure that your team internally and externally for your employees are getting the best benefits and services that are available to them at the best cost and the highest quality. Our biggest part of we feel we make a big difference is that Richard is very innovative in the fact that we do a lot of direct contracting, which helps you and your members get high-quality care at a lower cost for you as a self-funded plan. So we absolutely look forward to working with all of you, so thank you.
Thank you, and I think it's important to know the two goals that we have for our employees is, number one, to improve the health of our employees while reducing cost. So I think we made that very clear, and again, we want to see our employees get the best care possible and also reduce cost, and I think we've reached a great option on both. And then looking holistically at our employees, we know there's a lot of medications out there to become healthier. Sometimes the treadmill and eating right and dietary support are the best options, other than, we see these new medications that are coming out that they're talking about. There's some future issues or concerns about side effects that nobody knows at this point. So that's what we want to look at it as well, holistically, and make sure our employees have the best available care possible.
I 100% agree. I also want to introduce Nick. Nick will actually, fortunately for all of you, he will be your face for the most part. I will absolutely be available to you at any time before internally and externally, but Nick will be our day-to-day face of the Brown and Brown team for City of LaPorte.
Nick, you don't get a pass.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Excited and proud to have this opportunity. I'll be the official account executive supporting Diane and Richard. I've spent my entire career in employee benefits. I take it very seriously, and thank you very much for the opportunity. We really do appreciate it.
Mind if I ask a couple
Please.
quick questions? So just kind of that savings, which is always wonderful, right, to save money. Do you have a sense of kind of where that's really coming from in terms of making the switch from UMR to
Yeah,
Blue Cross
most
Blue
of it
Shield
is
Anthem?
actually the fixed costs, so it's not the claim projections, it's actually the fixed charges. So the admin fee from Anthem is less, the rebates are better, the drug rebates, all the various fixed charges, quite candidly, all across the page are less. Claim projections will be less because Anthem has a lot of leverage in the state of Indiana, a lot of business, so they demand better discounts from doctors and hospitals. All that added up is about $500,000.
And I know one of the big concerns, right, when switching insurance plans is the medication. Are the medications going to be covered to the same level? Will my doctor be in the network?
Yep.
Is
Yep.
your analysis, has it
Yep,
reviewed that as
yep,
well?
The match on hospitals and doctors is about 99%. So Anthem's network is very broad with very deep discounts. So no concern with that at all. There may be a few people that there's going to be wins and probably a few losses in terms of the drug formulary, okay? So there might be some that have a different tier on those drugs, but there'll be as many wins as there is losses.
But I'd also like to address something that we've talked about, the clerk treasurer, Andrea Smith. We got away in the transition when Wellport closed, that we didn't pick up every cost of every prescription.
Yeah.
That wasn't the plan, that's on us, and now it seems we're paying for every prescription, which wasn't the.
That's separate than the actual insurance.
Correct.
So I would venture to say
Yep.
that most of our employee base that has prescriptions from a referral, Andrea, correct me if I'm wrong, probably go through North Shore, which is separate than insurance. So,
Correct.
I'd say 75%.
okay,
And
so,
we're not recommending any change in North Shore.
But we do need to see some improvement there,
No-
which
no
we're
question.
addressing as well.
Yeah.
But
Starting today. Yeah.
that 500,000 or more doesn't even include the discussion of the prescription side with North Shore.
That's correct. Yep.
It looks, correct me if I'm wrong, but it also looks like the healthcare premium goes down almost $100 per employee.
That's correct.
Their cost.
That's right.
That's substantial.
Yep. Yep.
Richard, how many schools, I mean, you're the leading provider
So,
to
yeah, we do a
schools in
lot
the
of
state.
public entities and a lot of school corporations. There are 293, I think, public school corporations in the state of Indiana. About 190 are clients of ours. So a lot of schools around you, Valparaiso as example, Michigan City, those are both clients, but about 190 all across the state.
Questions? Thank you. Andrea?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, staff, and future guidance. With all that being said, lastly, I'd like to thank Craig Meny and his staff for the services they provided us. We will be keeping general insurance for our liability and workers' compensation claims, but they have been top-notch to work with, and looking forward to work with Richard and his team, having the same type of service.
How many hours will this save you or your team?
Not many right now. I'll probably know in January.
Gotcha.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And I just also want to say, just because we're making that savings doesn't mean those dollars automatically go into raises for everybody or other things. It stays within the health plan because we want to make sure it's well structured for the future
well,
financially.
and just like Member Romine noted earlier, the premiums for employees, there, you see a savings there. The premiums that employees have not changed since I've been here, and the premiums that employees pay are minimum. So the most of the cost that's captured is paid directly by the city. So I just wanted to note that. And nothing is changing this year. I mean, nothing is changing.
Everything will stay the same premium-wise. There will be some deductible changes, but those are per IRS regulations, not the city of LaPorte. So everybody needs to please keep that in mind. And also our dental and vision, we believe we are going to, actually, I know we're going to have a better plan in 2025 than what we have now. There'll be more dentists located in LaPorte, and it will be a cost savings for the city there as well. Not as much as the medical, but any little bit that we can capture and save helps everyone.
Further comments?
I was just going to comment. I mean, that truly, Courtney, I didn't realize that, but that's incredibly impressive. It should really go without saying, but, I mean, generally speaking, the premiums go up for most plans every single year. So really, it's very impressive.
We
We're
try
very
to
lucky.
think out of the box for our employees and help them as much as we can, and provide good coverage for their families. Do always have some hiccups. We've had some the last couple months, but we're working through it, and it should get better.
Well, and truly, kind of to your point about salaries and so forth, right? City employees, love to pay them more, right? But there's only so much to go around. So one of the areas, if we can improve sort of the benefit structure and benefit cost, that's a great place to add kind of value to city employees.
And the city of LaPorte has a great plan, great.
And you look at the total package we pay for each employee, it's pretty competitive. And I had the opportunity with their team to go to Carmel and look at their wellness program that they have, which is much more than just going in and working out. Carmel, I think, has saved $6 million over the last 12 years. They have not had an increase in premiums in that same time. And we're not Carmel, but Anderson was also at this meeting, and Anderson is doing outside-the-box thinking as well. And through B&B, Brown & Brown, they're doing some of the same things. So top to bottom, we have to continue to stay on top of this and do what's right for our employees.
It's an exciting time, so if any questions, have your employees call me. I'll hold their hand, walk through it with them, and make this as easy as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Mischke, got a whole list here.
Thank you, Mayor. And if you will, bear with me today, Jerry kind of at the last minute was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be there. So if there's any additional questions that I'm not able to answer, I'm sure we'll get back to you as quickly as we can.
The stack seems
Yeah.
larger.
I know.
when Jerry, right?
It's-
No, just-
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the first one today is for the McClung Road Sanitary Sewer Pay Request number 3. The job is about 73% complete. The main pressure sewer has been installed, and right now we're working on easements to allow installation of grinder pumps. So the contractors pulled off the project, and they're going to come back when it's time to install those pumps. So the payment that we're looking for to TGB Unlimited is $182,813.48.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have that paperwork? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just hunted for it.
I looked over it online if you want to.
Melissa, just to repeat the amount, it's 182,813.48?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, we have it.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And again, things that the city has talked about, McClung Road for, and I'll go to Mr. Werner, though, for how many years? Getting infrastructure, Nick Minnick, how many years? And we're doing what previous administrations have said they do, we're doing it. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, one down. So the next one's going to be North Park Road Sewer Extension to Hunter's Wood. This is change order number 1, and this changes the sewer pipe to a thicker wall to accommodate the depth of the sewer. And that request order is going to total $19,798.81.
I move we approve the change, or the change order.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. All
Is
in
this
fa-
still within the budget of the project?
It is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
So then we have 18th Street Sanitary Construction Contract with Woodruff. It's the area that serves the Steiner development and the existing residences between A and I Street. And Woodruff was the low bid, and the bid was approved in July. So now we're going for the contract amount is $1,040,953.88.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I'd also like to say the first Steiner home that is up is getting quite a bit of interest from the public. And that's only, everybody wants to see what the final look of it is with the siding. But they're getting quite a bit of interest there as well. So great news as we head for 30 by 30. Further discussion?
So just a quick question, on some of these, like where, I forgot what the word is, but where, like cross out some of the milestone pieces and such, like that's all approved and okay with us, right? All these changes that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, so I think I need to go back to the North Park Road Sewer Extension to Hunter's Wood, JPR, additional services. And that's going to be for construction and administration and inspections. And that's going to be in the amount of $42,000 plus a $2,000 reimbursable expense.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
So I'm going to move Hunterwood Sanitary Sewer Extension Agreement with HRP down to the end because Tucker's going to cover that. I do have, let's see what I have left here. The 18th Street Sanitary JPR additional services. So this again is construction administration and inspection services for $42,000 plus $2,000 reimbursable.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. And I just want to make sure the streets, they're kind of, JPR is supervising the 18th Street while Woodruff is doing the work.
Correct.
Yep, okay. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And then finally for me, I have the wastewater hauler permit from Krupa's Porta Pots. It's a new permit, but the company that they kind of took over was already one of our haulers. And Matt did tell me it's hunky Porta Pots, yeah, septic.
From La Crosse or
From Hannah, no, I don't.
Hannah,
Is
up
that-
down there, south?
At Hannah.
I don't have that, but that's just the,
It's just the agreement for them to discharge at the plant.
Have we, so have they, is this the first time for them? Or-
This is new for Krupa's. So they kind of took over the business
For hunky.
for Hunky.
For Hunky,
Yeah.
okay.
And so this is going to be a new agreement for them.
motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Great job. Thank Mr. Jackson for letting you do this.
No
Tucker
problem.
King.
Okay, so the final portion of that is the North Park Road Sewer Extension Sewer Agreement with HRP. So we had the bid opening and the selection previously. So this is just the final contract essentially, for $434,890 for HRP to do the installation for the interior portion of the Hunter Woods subdivision.
Do we each have that? Do you have that?
You know what? I know I saw it in the packet, but not, I don't know if I got it.
Yes. Okay.
And this came in significantly under budget, to be honest with you. I mean, initially, we had looked at $1.1 million, and this came kind of as a shock to us, so.
And how much total?
430, sorry, I just had it, give me a second here, 434,890. So,
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. And again, we're holding them to the same standard even though the
yes.
reduction of cost.
yes, and from my understanding, anything that they overspend will be eaten by them, from my understanding, so.
Further discussion?
Find it, Mark.
No, I don't think I had it.
Would you like a
But I
moment?
saw, no, I saw it. I saw it in the electronic packet.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Oh, that's right. There it is, okay. Just same thing with the cross-outs, that's all, we're approved on all of the changes that were in here?
Yeah,
Okay. Or that we were approved by us, yeah.
Does that normally happen, all of the, I'll call them red line items, when
Red
things
line.
get deleted or subtracted? Because I haven't noticed that until today in contracts.
so I am relatively new to everything, so I'm still learning. But from my understanding, yes.
Okay.
The format they use is an EJCDC document, which is a standard document that you kind of remove and move and
Right.
things like that. So it's a big standard document that not everything applies to our specific project. So it is on this type of document standard.
Is it you that redlines it, or is it the bidder?
I didn't redline this one, but it would be very common. yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Tucker.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker. Nick Minnick.
We have an agreement with USI. This is to assist with the 2004 Systemic HSIP Grant Assistance. City has been working with both NDOT and now USI to address safety concerns we have at kind of the area where 35 and 39 split along Pine Lake Ave, and then with the state moving forward with their project at Johnson Road and US 35. We're looking to put a grant in, working with the state to make some safety improvements. To do that, we're utilizing USI, who has a really good track record getting the HSIP funding for projects. So this is in the amount of $8,000. It'll come out of engineering professional services and will assist in us being able to work with the state and hopefully make some safety improvements that lead to additional pedestrian access along Pine Lake Ave, kind of extending through Kiwanis Teledyne Park and beyond.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, and one of the questions I have, I know there's been issues with individuals being able to walk along those condos, people not allowing that to happen that live in the condos. Do we have access through eminent domain, through the landscaping, if we needed to take out all the landscaping and put the sidewalk there if there's not a,
That's disappointing.
Well, we wouldn't really even need eminent domain. It's
There's
state
probably
right of
right-of-way
way. Yeah, it's
sufficient
state.
to do it.
Okay.
The majority of the landscaping is in state right of way. So what we've contemplated, and I believe that the state's kind of the same mindset, is in order to have safe crossing in that area, we need to have improvements to the roadway to kind of narrow and channelize the road. And in doing that, there would be more room for sidewalk also.
because we're going to make sure our kids are safe and the adults are safe, but we're not going to have people walking along Pine Lake Ave, even though it's not our road, and that's much more important. And the unwillingness to allow them to walk through the driveway there is unacceptable to me. And I'll tell you, we're going to have safety. This is a great opportunity that the state recognizes that they want to be a part of this grant. Obviously, we have a restaurant across the way that's drawing some individuals in, so from a safety perspective.
I mean, you've got a condo building probably with, what, 50 or 60 units? You've got a neighborhood with, I don't know, Mr. Kosher's
Well over
neighborhood.
100 families. I know I've counted them all up between the Outlet
Right.
Cove plus Lakeside
Right.
Street and
Well, and that Hawkeye intersection's being used constantly throughout the summer. I drive that way regularly to and from my office, and it's always, I mean, people are regularly taking advantage of that.
it's, well, certainly, you've heard from me, right? I've
Yeah.
advocated for, like, this is a very unsafe area with an outside corner coming into town where I would venture to say it's not uncommon for people to be going over 50, kind of around that corner, and somebody's like pulling into, because there's a pool manufacturer, liquor store, BMV, somebody stops, suddenly that backs up and they're pulling off the road to go around, and, yeah, it's very unsafe. So, not to change from that piece, because I think that's an important aspect of it, right? The pedestrian movement along, especially to access the parks. Well, and honestly, let alone if there was someone who, with a disability, there's no way to get there. At that intersection 39, or that split, like, is there some idea of what they envision there?
Yeah, so what we're looking at right now is, initially we were thinking that we wanted to add a pedestrian crossing across Pine Lake Ave at that intersection, but we think that there's future intersection improvement needs there, so we'd be investing in a pedestrian crossing somewhere that may be changing in 5 to 10 years. So instead of making those improvements, we're looking at working with the state to make safety improvements along the whole corridor, and then shift a mid-block, high-visibility pedestrian crosswalk closer to the end of Kiwanis Teledyne Park, and then extending sidewalk beyond that. So by adding a high-visibility crosswalk and having a pedestrian refuge island, it will likely affect the traffic flow less than having a dedicated pedestrian, crossing at the intersection, which then adds timing to the signal that will back vehicles up. So we're looking at a little bit different solution. It's not the Hawk that we have at East Shore Parkway, but it would provide for safe crossing of Pine Lake Ave, which again, until we had the Hawk, there wasn't a crossing of Pine Lake Ave north of Truesdale and Weller. So now we have one at East Shore Parkway, but as we have more development and more growth and more opportunity, we really should probably have another one too, and that location right now makes the most sense to us.
Nick, do you think that area where 39 and 35 split there would be great for a roundabout?
The geometry is perfect for a roundabout.
already
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, it
So-
seems like a place for
And
a
there.
roundabout that can handle that type of traffic flow, because you've seen them in lots of
Yeah.
cities, right?
Yeah, and the state is moving forward with design of a roundabout at Johnson and 35 and Severs. And if you think about that intersection, the amount of left-hand turns, there's so many left-hand turns, and that backs everything up because there's such a challenge in making that left-hand
It is,
turn.
it's tricky.
Coming off of Johnson and the sight
Sometimes I go
distance
through
coming down the
Dairy Queen
hill.
and behind.
Yeah, and roundabouts handle left-hand turns extremely well. So that's a really good fit for that intersection, but then as a gateway and an entrance and to kind of keep traffic flowing properly, I think having one at 35 and 39 would also be a great option. It didn't score as well probably for NDOT, and that's why they were able to get state funds to do the other one first, but we'll continue to push and encourage that project.
We don't want to wait till something happens.
No.
Let's be
definitely not.
proactive on this, so.
Well, and really, I know some people hate roundabouts, but the data is very clear. There are fewer T-bone accidents, significantly fewer fatalities at
No deaths.
intersections. Or is it no, I don't know.
No
but I knew it
deaths
was
in roundabouts.
Significant, but it's kind of more fender benders, and maybe it's a little bit of hassle, but also, if there's no traffic flowing in one direction, you don't have to stop,
Yeah.
right? You just kind of keep moving, slow down, anyway, so.
Yep.
Representative
Thank
Pressel
you
has
for all the
stated.
work on that, yeah.
No one has died in a roundabout, so, due to
I
an
think people
accident.
just get confused about how to use them is the trickiest part, really.
There's probably a couple just still stuck in them.
I thought I might have been one in Carmel when I went there. I kept going around. I felt like Chevy Chase in European
You did, it was
Vacation.
just
I
one right
couldn't
after
get
the
left.
other. There was-
I
You
couldn't
didn't actually
get
have to
left.
stop turning your wheel, right, yeah.
I mean, NDOT's got a ton of them. If you go south of Valpo on Highway 2, like towards Boone Grove High School, I mean, that's a state highway, and there are 3 or 4 probably on the highway, so.
Westville's gonna have 4 within the next few years. They're putting
They're-
in one right now,
Yeah,
and there's gonna
they're
be 2 more.
comparable in price, a little bit more to installing new signals, but the maintenance is significantly less because you're not constantly upgrading the signal heads and like all of that infrastructure.
It looks
is
better.
really expensive.
They do look better.
So it is, they are a great option for a lot of intersections, and it took us a while to get back to them, but they do make sense. So.
Well, and overall, though, thank you for the work on that, because I mean, to me, it's a high-growth area for us, right, along that corridor between the parks and the businesses and restaurants, and, yeah, so thank you.
But we're also going to keep people safe walking along the east side there of Pine Lake Avenue, and those individuals aren't allowed to put our residents and visitors into danger. So we're going to address it one way or the other. So with that, I do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business. I just wanted to take a minute and do this separately. Everything that's happening in LaPorte happens not only due to the great department heads and our employees that we have, but also from individuals in our community that want to see LaPorte improve, and that goes to the Beechwood Lakes property. If it wasn't for the Luck, Tricia and Dan family, as well as the Heilers, who donated the property out there, none of this housing development could have happened. And I just want to give recognition and thanks to the Luck and Heiler family, and thank you for bringing that up as well. But I would say that's a big donation, and without them, where would we be?
Well, and kudos to, everybody working on the project to stick with it. And, it's taken longer, I think, than anybody wanted, but I think we get, instead of maybe taking the wrong, to get a quick result, take the wrong decision. I think this bid that we got, this is a group that I think we're familiar with, so looking forward to, hopefully seeing it through.
Well said.
Very exciting, especially if there's more holes with kind of about a right-hand turn at about 175 yards. That's,
Well, the 3 proposed ones all have water on the right, so, yeah, sorry.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned. Have a great day.